packed Yankee Stadium in 1939. The crowd is roaring. The great Joe DiMaggio is patrolling center field. Lou Gehrig, though fading, is still a presence in the dugout. And there, in the heart of the infield, stands a young second baseman with lightning in his steps and fire in his eyes, Joe "Flash" Gordon. But behind the glory, behind the World Series rings and MVP awards, lies a story of a man whose career was carved not just by talent, but by pain, by injuries, by war, and by the heavy weight of expectations. Joe Gordon was not simply a ball player. He was a soldier, a fighter, a man who knew what it meant to rise, fall, and rise again. And tonight, we dive deep into his journey. The triumphs, the tragedies, the injuries that almost broke him, and the legacy that still echoes across baseball's greatest stadiums. Joe Gordon isn't just another name from baseball's golden age. He is the only American League second baseman in history to win the MVP award during the 1940s. He stood side by side with legends like Joe DiMaggio and Lou Gehrig. And yet, many outside the hardcore baseball world have never truly heard his story. And here's the fact that stops fans in their tracks. In 1943, while fighting through torn ligaments, bruised bones, and the shadows of World War II service, Gordon still managed to belt 17 home runs, more than any other second baseman in the league. This is not just a story about baseball. It's a story about resilience, sacrifice, and a man who never let pain steal away his fire. Joe Gordon was born in Los Angeles in 1915. He wasn't born into wealth, privilege, or the promise of fame. His gift was movement. Quick hands, a sharp mind, and reflexes so electric that teammates called him Flash. At the University of Oregon, he didn't just play baseball. He starred in football and gymnastics. Every movement sharpened him for the storm ahead. When the Yankees signed him in 1938, fans had no idea they were watching a future legend step onto the field. In his rookie year, he hit 25 home runs, a record for an American League second baseman. The press called him fearless. The fans adored his fire. But what they didn't see were the bruises, the strains, the hidden battles his body was already fighting. Injuries were Gordon's shadow. By the early 1940s, he was already battling a torn tendon in his left hand, a chronically bruised thumb, and nagging leg injuries. In one season, he played nearly every game with a Charlie horse that made running agonizing. Teammates remembered him wrapping his legs so tight it left deep marks after games. But Joe never complained. In fact, when reporters asked, he just smiled and said, "It's nothing. I'll play tomorrow." Then came World War II. At the height of his career, Gordon put down the bat and picked up a rifle. For 2 years, he served in the military, leaving behind the roar of the stadium for the silence of war camps. When he returned, his body was older, his swing a little slower, and the injuries a little heavier. Many thought he'd never be the same, but Gordon was not built to surrender. In 1946, a blockbuster trade sent him from the New York Yankees to the Cleveland Indians, a move that shocked the baseball world. Many believed the Yankees had given up on him. Injuries, war service, and declining numbers made him look like a fading star. And then, Joe Gordon lit the field on fire. In 1948, with the Indians, he hit 32 home runs and drove in 124 runs, one of the greatest seasons a second baseman had ever produced. That year, the Indians won the World Series, and Joe Gordon's name was written in stone. But the injuries never left him. Every slide into second base meant risking another torn tendon. Every swing carried the weight of aching hands. He knew his career would not last long. And by 1950, after just 11 seasons, the pain finally caught up. He retired at 35. Yet, even as he walked away, his numbers glowed. 5-time World Series champion, 9-time All-Star, 1942 American League MVP. More home runs than any second baseman of his generation. He wasn't just good. He was unforgettable. Joe Gordon's story is not just about baseball. It's about resilience, about facing injuries that could have broken him, about returning from war and still carrying a team on his shoulders. He wasn't perfect. He played in pain. He fought through broken ligaments, bruised bones, and days when his body told him to quit. And yet, he kept playing. He kept inspiring. In 2009, decades after his death, Joe Gordon was finally inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. It was late. Too late for Joe to see it himself, but it was proof that legends, no matter how long it takes, are never forgotten. So, next time you hear names like DiMaggio, Gehrig, or Mantle, remember the man at second base, the one they called Flash. Joe Gordon, a player who turned pain into greatness. If this story moved you, if Joe Gordon's grit and heart inspired you even a little, then don't leave just yet. Hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and share this video with someone who loves the game as much as you do. Because baseball isn't just about stats. It's about human stories. Stories of men like Joe Gordon. And trust me, you don't want to miss the next one.